They are living quietly, not in panic, not in chaos, but with a look of deep uncertainty. Mothers clutching babies, young men dragging bags, and elders whispering prayers as they cross into Ghana. Once again, Cote d'Ivoire stands at a crossroads, and history seems to be repeating itself. With Cote d'Ivoire's presidential elections just days away, fear has already crossed the border. Over 1,500 Ivorians have fled to Ghana, escaping what many believe could become another wave of election-related violence. But why now? And what are Ghanaian authorities doing as the tension inches closer to their border? You are watching First Africa Voice, where we tell Africa stories raw, real, and without filters. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. My name is Paul Lingua. Now, let's dive into the story and break it down together. To understand what is happening today, we must remember 2010, when disputed elections plunged Cote d'Ivoire into deadly chaos. Over 3,000 people lost their lives and thousands fled across West Africa seeking refuge. Now, 15 years later, the scars of that crisis remain fresh in memory, and as 2025 elections draws near, whispers of instability have once again sparked movement across borders. But this time, the exodus is quieter, not the panic of war, but fear of its shadow. In Ghana's western region, at the bustling Elubo border post, vigilance has become a new order of the day. The Western Regional Minister, Joseph Nelson, has issued a strong warning to border officials. Maintain extra vigilance, he said, as more Ivorians flee their country ahead of October 2025 election. His message was clear: monitor every entry, because amid the stream of travelers who hide criminal elements or political agitators seeking to exploit Ghana's open borders, the situation is still very fluid. Nelson cautioned, let's keep our eyes on the inflows so we don't have any surprises in the future.
The situation is still very fluid, and so let's keep our eyes on, the inflow so that we're able to check the security side of things, so we don't have any surprises, any day in the future. The elections are coming on in October, as you know, and so as we approach the day, I believe that a lot more of them will come. So put yourself in readiness to, receive them, and then, of course, with your eyes wide open, so we don't get any criminals slipping through, the system to pose a challenge to us as far as our security is concerned.
But as the minister calls for caution, one question lingers: how do you tell who is a refugee and who is not? Deputy Commissioner of Immigration Joshua Kraku at Elubo admits many Ivorians enter Ghana as ordinary travelers, not declaring refugee status. They are cautious, strategic, leaving home before the storm breaks. They end up maybe getting into refugee camp to seek asylum. Kraku explained, we have noticed that the numbers are going up, but it is not chaotic. People are simply taking precautions. These are not desperate crowds. They are families choosing safety early.
Rationally, people are taking precautions by leaving the country to find safe havens, and then maybe after the elections, if everything is fine, they go back. But when they are coming through the border, they don't present themselves as people who are coming to seek asylum. They are coming as normal travelers, but then they end up maybe getting to the refugee camp to seek asylum then. So we have also noticed that The numbers are going up, maybe. But there isn't a situation where people are carrying their bags to cross the border to go there.
A calm exodus, a people quietly saying, not again. President Alassane Ouattara, aged 83, has been officially designated by his governing party as its candidate for the October 2025 election. His decision to seek a fourth term is controversial. This follows constitutional changes in 2016 that his supporters say reset term count, though critics argue the move undermines democratic norms. On the opposition side, a handful of candidates were cleared by the Constitutional Council of Côte d'Ivoire out of a much larger fold of provisional applicants. On September 9, 2025, the court approved 5 candidacies from roughly 60 applications. These include Simone Gbagbo, former First Lady and head of the movement of capable generations, Jean-Louis Billon of the Democratic Congress Coalition, Henriette Lagu Adjoa, president of the Group of Political Partners for Peace, and Awua Don-Melo, independent candidate. While these 5 are formally approved, the opposition vote is notably narrow. Several prominent opposition were disqualified or barred from running, creating significant controversy. For example, Tijani Thiam, formerly of the Democratic Party of Côte d'Ivoire, was excluded on the grounds he had held French citizenship when applying for the ballot. Also, former President Laurent Gbagbo is likewise barred due to past legal judgments. Many observers argue the exclusion of such figures weakens the competitiveness and legitimacy of the election. But that is just by the way. For Ghana, the challenge is twofold: to show compassion while protecting its borders. The country has long been a safe haven for West African refugees. But in times like this, every border crossing must be treated with both empathy and suspicion, because in a region where political tensions can spill over overnight, one unchecked entry could spark a national crisis. Ghana's security agencies remain on high alert, watching the flow of people, monitoring charter, and coordinating with regional intelligence networks. As the election in Abidjan approaches, the eyes of Ghana's western region remain fixed westward, waiting, watching, and hoping that peace holds. In Abidjan and beyond, political tension has been simmering for months. Allegations of unfair processes, questions about candidate eligibility, and the deep political rivalries that once divided the nation are surfacing. Some Ivorians believe the election could bring peace. Others are not so sure. Many are choosing to live now to avoid reliving the nightmares of 2010 and 2020. As tensions continue to rise across the border, one question lingers: what should Ghana do now? The inflow of 1,500 Ivorians is not just a humanitarian concern. It is a test of Ghana's preparedness, diplomacy, and compassion. Ghana needs to tighten but humanize border security. Ghana needs to strengthen coordination with Côte d'Ivoire and ECOWAS, prepare humanitarian support systems, invest in local peace messaging, leverage diplomacy to encourage stability in Côte d'Ivoire. Ghana stands at a delicate point, the balance between compassion and caution. How it responds now will define not only its border security, but also its leadership role in West Africa's peace architecture. Because when one African nation trembles, the others must stand firm together. Behind every statistic is a human story: a mother choosing safety over homeland, a young man choosing uncertainty over danger. A nation, once Africa's success story, once again hold its breath as the world watches. Côte d'Ivoire's election is more than just a political contest. It is a test of trust, memory, and peace. As the world turns its gaze to Côte d'Ivoire's election on October 25th, 2025, Ghana stands as both a neighbor and a guardian. At Elubo, every footstep that crosses the line between fear and safety is a reminder that the story of West Africa's democracy is still being written, one border, one ballot, one choice at a time. This is First Africa Voice, where Africa's stories speak for themselves. If you believe Africa deserves peace and stability, like this video, share your thoughts below, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more fearless African stories. Until next time, think for Africa, stand for Africa, and keep your voice loud. Well, the dew of the day has crept upon our thoughts, and nature must obey its necessity. Here is where we bring down the curtains. Until we meet again, my name is Paul Lingual, the Africa orator.